Thank you for joining me here today. Can you please tell me your name and where you're from?
Well, my name is Monique Bell. Everyone calls me Mo. I actually prefer that. It's more endearing. And I am from the NAMI and Henry and Fayette affiliate. So we are called the Southside Overcomers because we cover Henry, Clayton, Butts, Coweta, and Fayette counties. So I am the former steering chair of our affiliate, and now I'm the advocacy rep. I've always served as the advocacy rep as well. But I am here. I moved here from New York, and I have lived in Georgia now, my goodness, since 1996 when the Olympics came here. So it was a very, very exciting time to be moving to Atlanta. But I moved here from New York City.
Oh. Can you tell me a little bit about your mental health story and your experience?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, what brought me to NAMI, like most people, is my mommy was living in crisis. She was living in psychosis for some time. And my dad, he did not want to go to seek therapeutic counseling. And as a result, I said, well, you've got to have some other outlet besides only me, because I'm an only child and we don't have very many other family members here. So it was becoming a little bit overwhelming for me to contend with not only my mom and him to contend with mom, but also too for him to have an outlet. I needed some space for him to be able to talk about and share in the experience. So in light of him not wanting to go to seek counseling, we came to NAMI. And like many people, we come in crisis, needing, emergency support. And we were always experiencing an emergency because, my mom was living in psychosis. So at the time, we came to what was a support group because NAMI Henry and Fayette was not an affiliate. It was actually a support group under NAMI DeKalb, but it was meeting in Stockbridge, Georgia. So we live in McDonough. That was the closest location. So we came to uh, NAMI's family support group under DeKalb, but in Stockbridge.
Wow. Can you elaborate on that? How do you feel like that has helped your family?
Oh my goodness. Like most people, NAMI was a lifesaver because now I'm a trained mental health professional. I went back and got my master's degree, but at the time, I did not have my master's degree in counseling. I actually needed more education and information about my mommy's illness because my family, they didn't know, they couldn't provide that kind of information and education. My dad was just, and my family had been over the years, since my mom has had this diagnosis since my birth. It was really, a lifelong experience for my dad, but for me, I needed more information because I would always hear things like, "Oh, your mom's special, she's touched," things, terminology that really does not have any grounding or rooting in what is actually happening. So as a child growing up, I didn't really know, you know, what was happening with her. I just knew that there was a difference or something different. And so I wanted education and I wanted the ability to make changes because I didn't want people to go through the experiences that we were going through, not getting some of the help that we needed, without being, aggressive. I wouldn't say assertive, I would say aggressive, or downright demanding. So in that regard, NAMI provided my dad with the ability to receive comfort and support, that he was not alone in this experience. Especially because, again, we don't have family here. It's just a very small nucleus of my family. I'm an only child. But then for me, with regard to NAMI, it provided me with a way to advocate. It provided a forum for me to help to make changes, and I'm still working on that. And NAMI is still working on that. So it really is a wonderful platform to receive free education, which we did. My dad took family to family, I took family to family, and now I'm a state trainer in family to family. I'm a state trainer in family support group because I facilitate our support group for the affiliate, our virtual one. We have live ones now as well, but it provided me with a way to give back, to serve others so that I would be able to help them to be comforted the way I was comforted and my dad was comforted in coming to NAMI. So it just provided that platform to be able to help and make changes, and it still does. So what it started with, it's continuing today, but even bigger for me and bigger for NAMI.
Wow, I think that is truly amazing. And I think that you are definitely an inspiration because you used your mom's story, and not only were you able to help your family, but you're helping others as well who are experiencing the same thing. And I think that is so wonderful to see. And you are such a great leader, and we appreciate you here at NAMI for everything that you do in your community.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It really is a pleasure and a labor of love because it is work. It is work, but it is a labor of love. And if you don't do anything else but help one person or one family, it definitely makes you feel like you've done something, in this lifetime.
Yes, of course. For the next question, do you know who your legislators are?
I do.
Who are they?
Well, Representative Regina Lewis Ward is my state rep. And then Emmanuel Jones was my senator, but because of the way they have changed, some of uh, the lines, that we have in our district, my state senator, has definitely changed. And so I'm re-evaluating how I will continue to um, establish relationships and rapport because I do go to mental health day at the Capitol, but I also, just go, I go also to the Capitol to see see my legislators outside of mental health day at the Capitol. And because of that, that's the reason why oftentimes, I have developed a rapport, but now I need to continue to redevelop or reestablish my rapport with my senators, with my legislators, because we want to, make sure that we're not getting to know them in a way in which is impactful for our community. So I've met my senator who is Brian Strickland,
Mhm.
but I have to get to know him even further. And so when Ms. Kim Jones, our executive director, she's going to have a tour that is taking place. It has already started actually, but once the tour continues to come and it comes to us, which is on the 24th, it's the 24th of July. I'm going to invite our senator, our representative, our county commissioner, which is Carlotta Harrell. And we're going to make sure that most of our local leaders, as well as our state representatives and our senator, is here in order to just interface with the community and talk about some of the things that we support in NAMI, as well as personally what we would like to see and what is going well for our legislative branches of our Georgia state chambers.
That's really wonderful. And if you could tell them something right now about mental health, what would you tell them, your legislators?
Well, the first thing is I would tell them they are doing an absolutely fantastic job advocating for mental health, but we do need more. We do need a little bit more by way of resources for our community. And we do need some resources that are very specific to certain demographics. And so that would be some of really one-on-one. That's why I said reestablish and, make sure that we are trying to talk about some of the specific things that are needed in our community. And that would be one of those things is making sure that certain demographics are really focused on because it seems as though mental health issues are very prevalent in certain demographics, although it does not discriminate. But there are higher levels of mental illness that are pervasive in certain demographics. And some of those demographics are forgotten. For instance, in my mommy's case, we don't have many geriatric psychiatrists in our Henry County area. So if I wanted to really have a geriatric psychiatrist, I'd have to go outside of my area in order to get one because there's maybe one or two in our area.
Um, I think that is definitely important. And I don't think a lot of people actually know that unless you're experiencing yourself. So I think that is it's good to educate them about that issue. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add before we end our interview today?
Well, I'd like to add that we always in NAMI say that you're not alone. And one of the wonderful ways that NAMI has helped us and what we try to foster in our affiliate and really across the board because I've worked with many other members of NAMI in other affiliates, and we develop a family. And one of the ways in which we develop that family is by sharing resources, sharing information, sharing our experiences. And I just thank NAMI for being who NAMI is, the largest grassroots organization, mental health organization that provides opportunities and ways to not only receive support, education, but also, again, to advocate. And I would pledge to people to really try to get involved with NAMI before a crisis actually takes place, rather than when the crisis is happening. Get to know NAMI, support NAMI prior to needing mental health resources. Have that stuff available so that this way you can mitigate certain circumstances. So that would be my final words is to get involved even without a crisis, because you never know when you'll need the information and the resources that NAMI provides.
Wow, that was a very good tad put. And thank you very much for joining me here today.
Oh, thank you, Tyler.
Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, my dear. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to interview me.